'cause it won't be long until you're mine. Sure as I've been waiting for your love, I can see the stars light up above, telling me keep holding on this time.
All right, it is time. Tasteless is coming back into the bathroom. It's okay. We forgive him for it. Hi, Tasteless.
That was not a long bathroom break.
No, it was not.
I'm glad to be back. There was a line. What are you going to do?
No, man.
Studio's packed here. Huck
we
Day
have
today.
a lot of people here. All here to root on Huck, but he killed his opponents too quick, so a lot of people missed him.
I know.
Huck is actually really selfish in that way.
I know. He's beating the guys really fast. Kind of a douche, you know?
Yeah.
What about the fans?
What about the fans, man?
No, it was kind of sad because, like, 2 minutes after his game, you probably saw it to give a better seat, to see the door over there, but 2 minutes after that game that he won, like, I swear to God, a dozen non-Koreans walk in.
Yeah, I saw that. Well, we're on to the next group, Tasteless. That old group, it's over. Killer messed up, man. I have to say, I'm a little bit sad for him. I feel like he absolutely could have beaten Polt 2-0 today.
Here's a classic, and it happens in actually with almost all matchups, a moment where you're dropped, and you're like, oh, I'm far out enough, but do I go back? And you go, no, it's all right. And then you lose all your production facilities, and you get in this weird battle. And all right, look, there's no more time to talk about that. We're going to throw up a video for you guys going on to the second half of today's Codes game, so enjoy. I promise you it's going to be here in a second.
컨셉을 도전이냐 아니면 실리냐 후자를 선택하거든요.
실리 한조.
저일줄은 꿈에도 몰랐는데 약간 좀 씁쓸하네요. 생각해보니까 실리는 아닌 것 같아요.
장민철!
이렇게 고통스러울 할 줄은. 저는 장민철 선수의 지는 모습을 꼭 보고 싶거든요. 제가 장민철 선수에게 패배를 선사해드리도록 하겠습니다.
그럼 혹시 정종현 선수랑 최지성 선수 있나요?
최지성 선수 있습니다.
정종현 선수는 없어요?
네.
아, 아쉽네요.
아니 제가
일단 한정 선수가 저를 찍으셨는데
네.
만날 일은 없을 것 같아요. 이번에 바뀌어서 승자전끼리 하잖아요. 승자끼리.
네.
네, 만날 일 없으니까 인사할 일도 없을 것 같고. 네, 저는 원래 저 현장에 있었으면 임준혁 선수 도발해가지고
네.
만약에 임준혁 선수가 저 찍으면 제가 정종현 선수 찍어서 2회 우승자끼리 한번 하려고 그랬거든요.
네, 이렇게 전화를 해서
네.
아주 통쾌하게 완성이 됐습니다.
That was a pretty epic video intro.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
A lot of personality in that group, Tasteless.
Yeah,
Kyrix
no kidding.
wants to beat MC. Well, who doesn't?
It's funny because, and maybe there's some of those who would disagree with me, and that's fine. But I feel like Kyrix, again, out of the 8 players we're commentating today, I feel like he's the least notable, and that's a weird thing to say.
I would have to put Alive just slightly below him, just because Kyrix has done very well in a couple tournaments.
Yeah, I always use the kind of the number one on the ladder factor to kind of make it very interesting, since a lot of our competitive players that watch are laddering, but. Yeah, it's true. He has had more success in actual tournaments. All right, time to introduce.
Yeah, Huck's still walking around looking for nerds to kill. Why is he still here? Go home, Huck.
Huck's still in here wandering around. He turned around and looked at me.
He waved at you.
He waved at us.
Huck waved at us.
He looked at me. He touched me.
MC and Inca, I would love to see that. The battle of micro PvP against strategy PvP. I would love to see that today, Tasteless.
Yeah.
Watch those two teammates duke it out. Bomber versus MC. What an insane match. I can't believe we get to watch that. That's a potential GSL finals right there. It's a potential finals.
Inca does have the opportunity, it's possible, to play off against MC. And I think that's great. I think Inca probably learned a lot, from watching MC's games. And, I think it's going to be cool. Here's the thing, though. Kyrix is, God, I feel like this guy's way outclassed. I mean, with Bomber here, we were hearing a lot about Bomber before he was even in Code A, man.
Yeah, he was
talking about
he was actually really, really good in StarCraft 1, and he has been practicing so hard in StarCraft 2. So, as everyone knows, he is one of the scariest people in the world. In fact, I heard on the Korean site they picked Bomber to crush MC, which blows my mind.
Wow, that's actually insane. That might just be fanboyism, or that might be very telling. MC, we saw this guy at MLG.
See this guy everywhere.
He's everywhere.
He's actually everywhere in the world at once. I don't know how he does it.
I don't know. He
I
sleeps on
think
planes.
I think he's Nightcrawler. I think he just appears at tournaments and then blue.
Well,
puff of
judging
smoke
from these
and
pictures, I
goes
think
somewhere else.
Inca's Nightcrawler, but yeah, you might be right. Did you just give like a
It's my snake laugh.
cartoon snake laugh? Well, the maps are going to start out. Matchup's going to start here with Inca against Kyrix. And look, Inca, you had a tough time against Nestea. But Kyrix, I think, is a much more manageable opponent.
Yeah,
Maybe
of
I'm
course.
wrong about him being
Inca,
the Nightcrawler
and here's the thing. Inca, he obviously had some really well thought out DT builds, but he did not execute against ST. So do not count this guy out. His PBT at times is amazing, at times is lackluster. His PvP is always godly. His versus Zerg, we're seeing this versus Zerg record here. That's against Nestea in the finals, which Nestea goes to like every now and then. He just goes to finals and wins it. So
Yeah.
can't judge too much off of that. I'm still excited to see. I'm sure that after that, he got very motivated against Zerg and practiced his little tushy off.
Yeah.
Gonna show us how to crush some Zerg souls today.
You know,
here,
we
perhaps.
talked to Inca backstage. We were like, are you going to advance? And he was kind of like, well, maybe. I hope so. Not as confident then as he normally is going to some of these matches.
And not as confident as Killer, but Killer didn't make it out, Tasty, so confidence is not everything.
No.
If it was, wouldn't everyone just be completely confident all the time?
Wouldn't I actually take everybody's ladder points instead of having that dumb ongoing joke? Yes, Artosis, that would actually happen.
All right. Actually.
All right. Now, here's Kyrix. So
like
it was 4 actually.
He's had a hard time, Tasteless, lately. He has not really done a lot since Season 2.
We're waiting to see this guy's style develop a little bit more.
Yeah, it's not like it used to be where it was only cheese. He's no longer only cheese, and that's good. His ZVP, we have seen some pretty decent ZVPs out of him, but not against the tip-top players. So how will he fare in this group full of, championship caliber players? Bomber, MC, both definitely championship caliber. Inca, he made it to a championship.
Now, Kyrix, I think, could take a game or two off one of these guys.
It is best of one.
The pressure, of course, is to actually come out 2-0. That's the ideal situation. That's going to be tough. The map is Terminus Re. It's going to be an interesting map. We do see a lot of timing pushes from Protoss pushing the second base. Late game DTs are huge on this map. Zerg can do a lot of counterattacks, so it makes for a pretty interesting map.
Well,
all right, so we're almost ready to get this going.
I am excited.
I am very excited.
Can't wait to see which builds these guys actually end up using. Will Kyrix have a very well-refined economy style on this map? I hope for his sake he does.
I'm especially excited to see what Inca's going to do. Now, the maps that were eliminated, Inca taking out Belshire Beach, but take a look here. Kyrix did not opt to eliminate a map. Do you ever think this is actually a good idea? Because I would always, no matter what, eliminate a map.
Yeah,
I would always, no matter what, get rid of one map. Even if I thought I had a good chance on all of them, I'd want to have at least one map I didn't have to think about.
Exactly. You're completely right, Tasteless. There is no reason to do nothing.
All right, it's time, Artosis. The countdown has begun. Head-to-head, Inca making it all the way to the finals of GSL. But can he take on Kyrix? He's had a lot of success previously. Inca a little bit more new school here. All right, it's time. Head-to-head. Protoss versus Zerg. Inca against Kyrix here at the GSL Codex. All right, over here in the left, in the blue, one of the, actually, I think, trickiest Protoss players out there. Not afraid to cannon rush, not afraid.
Inca.
She cut me off, but not afraid to do the standard builds, the really out there builds. Mostly known for his Protoss versus Protoss. Kind of had a hard time against Nestea, but that's really not anything to be ashamed of. And he's here to prove himself here against this guy, Kyrix, who we will see here in a second. He dropped at a Super Tournament 64, and he will come back. Inca
Of course.
Now, down here in the bottom.
Kyrix.
Oh, she had mutant bunny rabbit ears.
Yeah, she had 4 ears.
She
there.
had 4 ears.
Huh. I know there's some nerds at home that have seen an anime with a bunny girl
four-eared
with
bunny
4
girl.
ears, and they're like, "What?"
They're going, oh,
You're gonna buy their 5 dolls MP3s, or at least steal them from the internet.
I need to post the anime pic on 4chan. All right. So, unfortunately for Inca, he's scouting in the wrong direction.
That poor guy.
That poor dude. But the Overlord will spot him, but look at that. We'll get a shot of it in a second, but the Kyrix Overlord did dart away.
And
But none of the
probe now.
probe's going to see it now. Okay.
Probe will see the Overlord and then know exactly where Kyrix is. Interesting that he sent out a second probe there. And another interesting thing is that he is not getting a gas. He's just making a Zealot. He's just chrono boosting a Zealot. That's what he's doing.
Well, this is some reflex play.
Yeah, it looks to me like it's going to be just a 1 gateway expansion. Not a very common build, but Kyrix
Do
is
you think
going
that's actually doable on this map? I mean, you got a pretty big berth.
against someone with no speed. I would say, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, don't you?
Oh, he's actually going for a rush. Never mind.
Ah, okay.
He's actually, and this is really weird because Kyrix actually did go pool first, but Kyrix did not make Zerglings with that pool, and he's not making a queen with that pool as well.
Oh, I think he's going to try to do some pylon wall. Problem is when these builds don't work as Protoss, you're just like, oh, I lost, LOL.
You can't pylon wall here because of the depot, so it looks like he's just going to use the edge of the map.
Well, you know, the timing of this is weird. Now he's going to try to block that.
Yeah,
Look, this probe is getting pretty
nice.
low.
Very nice by Kyrix. Now the probe is going to turn around and come back, the other probe.
All right, well, this is bad for Inca. This is one of those games, if you lose it because of a game like this, you are pissed.
It's a very interesting build, and here we go. He's going to throw down that cannon anyways.
Oh, but huge surrounded.
Oh my god, that's a huge surround. And
now don't forget the cannon's warping in. But the queen, if the queen gets on the high ground, there's really not a lot that this
you just
Protoss
sit on the
can
high
do.
ground with it. That's it. You're exactly right, Tasteless.
One more Zealot goes down. Cannon HP getting pretty low here.
And, wow, that Zealot's still alive. He's got to keep the probe alive as well, though.
He has to see up the high ground. And the cannon goes down now.
All right, so the rush is over, but there's only 12 drones out against 16 probes.
Yeah, that is true.
Other than that, well, Kyrix has 160 gas, so he's going to want to stop mining that and go ahead and get his speed going, most likely. What will Inca do to get out of this? He's actually getting his core now, which is not what I really like. I mean, if you're just getting your core now, I don't know,
well,
man. What is
Zerg
your
has time
plan
to
from
catch
here?
up, you know, yeah.
Not just catch up, but I think get way ahead. He's just droning like a madman right now, and what can Inca do against that? Well, this is unfortunate.
This sucks.
I think can't walk out there to kill anything.
Oh no, bad positioning. He's going to need to back up just slightly. Yes, now he can.
And down goes that.
Okay. You know what keys this game is going to end with?
Is it going to be a G and a G?
Yeah.
You know, we don't know that for certain. The only player in
actually gonna be
GSL history to ever not GG after losing is Inca.
Oh, that's true. Or it could end with a colon with a rightward facing parenthesis, but okay, this is so bad.
Inca's
for Inca right now.
Unbelievably dead at the moment.
Yeah.
Just unbelievably dead.
Especially against somebody of Kyrix's caliber, where it's like, you give Kyrix a situation, he's like, all right, no problem.
he can just micro those Zerglings around.
Yeah.
And until he has speed and just scout the whole base the entire time while making nothing but drones. And there's nothing Inca can really do. There's nothing. I mean, he's getting so far behind. We have 29 drones against 20 probes. Early in the game, Protoss is supposed to be ahead on workers. It's in the mid-game that Zerg jumps ahead. And then they normally catch up after the second base is up for a little bit for Protoss. So everything is going badly.
One thing that is true about Inca goes on tilt. If he starts to get taking a lot of damage,
his play deteriorates for sure.
Yeah, he doesn't keep his cool. So this is an unbelievably bad situation. I'm not saying Inca can't do it, but
You know, from
this is
here you
tough.
have to come up with something so insane that your opponent 100% has never seen.
Yeah.
Like, you have to actually really, really think to come up with something that can possibly beat a Zerg in this position. I mean, I can't even understate how crazy it would have to be. You'd have to go like 3 Forge going for 3-3-3.
Or
hit a
you'd have
timing before Broods or something. Like, what in the world would actually kill him here? We have a Roach Warren on the way, we have a Lair on the way, we have a third base on the way for Kyrix.
Going off what you were saying, Artosis, and of course you want to do that strategy once all these Zerglings are killed off so they can't scout it. And Kyrix has done a great job of keeping that one Zergling in his base alive.
Yeah. And it's gone now. He is expanding and making a Stargate. It is 46 drones to 26 probes. In fact, only 41 supply for Inca, so more drones than Inca has supply.
Oh my god, that's such a good way to sum it up, Artosis.
Thank you, Tasis.
You're so good.
Kyrix just looking mighty strong at the moment. But a lot of this just goes back to the fact that Inca's build, I'm not really sure what he was playing with that. You know, losing that, really what I think it might come down to is losing that probe. If he had started the cannon a lot earlier,
Yeah.
then it would have warped in a lot earlier with a lot more health, really helped out the Zealots. He got his Zealots surrounded really quickly. He didn't execute his build well at all.
Yeah, not at all.
Which is a problem that we saw against ST as well. Maybe it's not just because he was in the finals against ST. Maybe he has a big PvZ execution problem.
Well, you know, it's such a precise strategy that you're doing with a cannon rush like that, where it's
quite
like,
true.
all right, I have to get this one building up at this exact moment, and there's all this stuff in the way, and everybody's watching you. That could be a factor.
Well, he is making Void Rays against the Roaches of Kyrix. But even that shouldn't stop it. Now, don't let this make you think that somehow Roaches counter Void Rays, because they don't. But
I
in
love
this
those.
scenario, I believe that may in fact be the case. If he wants, he can make so many Roaches that the Void Rays won't really matter. He can really do almost anything at this point, though.
Yeah. All right, lots of Roaches out now. And Artosis is completely correct. I mean, if you don't want them to attack, you could just make a bunch of stuff and keep throwing it at them.
Yeah.
Inca's never going to catch up. Inca literally has half the supply.
Yeah, 57 to
opponent,
113.
and he's getting Hydra Den. So let's see. He's like, all right, forget about it. I'm going to send the Void Rays towards your base. It's like, well, first of all, not only would he have Queens, but he's going to have Hydras too. And
Also, a 4th base going up for Kyrix.
You know, when Kyrix stopped that cannon rush, here's exactly what happened. Especially when he got the Zerglings in the base, as he said, all right, I've won.
Yeah.
Just don't do anything
you've
too
spent
dramatic.
so much and done so little. I mean,
he's like, all right, the game should be over.
And I think it was
Take
a
your call.
two-pronged loss there by Inca, failing the cannon rush and then making a cybernetic score. I mean, if you make a cybernetic score, man, you are so far behind right there.
Yeah.
You may as well just make your next.
You actually have to like cut probes if you're like that thing's starting to lose, and make the core then start to tech right away. You're like, well, he's not going to have drones, but I'm going to have a core out, and
Well, it looks like he is going to go for robotics tech. Now, if he makes a Colossus, I'm going to be in shock and awe. Because, like, Colossus is what you do in an even game. To try to come back with Colossus at this point is going to be something very, very difficult to do. But that's what he's going to try to do.
Uh-oh, Hydras, those things are pretty good.
They are indeed. So, let me give some stats. 63 drones, 46 probes, so he's catching up there a little bit. But the supply, 157 to 80. I think we might just see an attack.
Yeah, I think so.
As these extra Hydras come up, he can just march through.
Kyrix, I think, kind of being somewhat of the underdog going into this, has to be feeling incredibly confident
Oh, yeah.
right now.
How couldn't you? How
Couldn't you? He may still just attack with everything in the front, but you might as well destroy these rocks before you go in there.
Yep. Inca trying to poke and prod, get some of those overlords out of there, get some information about what's coming for him. Makes him burn.
Oh,
3
it's so
force
good.
fields.
He's like, all right, make force fields there. I'm going to get my stuff up here.
Looks like
And,
he's just
you know, here's the
playing.
problem is we actually know. Don't be confused, guys. Inca isn't unaware that he's behind right now.
Yeah.
He actually knows exactly what's going on, but
He's actually
it's such
praying
an
if he gets
important
a
match.
Colossus out, man.
Yeah, he's basically saying, all right, this match is so important, just try.
Mm-hmm.
Try to pull through with something here. You were a GSL finalist. You know, you've been in tough situations. You can do this.
Yep. Now,
But-
if he somehow can crush this attack of a max Zerg against his 99 supply, which he can't do, then maybe Tasteless, but this is looking pretty brutal.
All right, I think he has enough force field still to do that again. There's the Colossus out. I guarantee you he's feverishly chrono boosting out another Colossus here.
That is a lot of Hydras, a lot of Roaches. And the Roaches just kind of burrowing through, well, not burrowing through, but forcing their way through here. More force fields going up, but there's just not enough here, Tasteless. More and more Overlords coming for some creep, probably.
Okay.
And GG.
That is GG.
Kyrix crushes Inca in the first set. We have actually a lot of upsets in this Codas, Tasteless. A lot of things you wouldn't expect.
Some of these underdogs are really training. I think that in that one case, we didn't get to see Kyrix's true potential because he basically
nor Incas.
No, nor Incas. Well, you know, Inca every once in a while, you know, we've seen him do this stuff where he just does a crazy cannon rush. He's like up to games, and he's like, I'm gonna get fancy pants.
Yeah.
You know,
he does like to be Mr. Fancy Pants.
He like gets his
sometimes.
cat out, and he's like, I want fancy feast. The cat's all fluffy, and he feeds the cat out of a goblet, and I'm like, really? In a cat food commercial?
He wants chicken, Tasteless. He wants liver.
Yeah.
Meow mix, meow mix.
It's like,
delivered.
My cat is a pretentious douche. I'm like, oh, come on, fancy feast. No, but every once in a while, you know what I'm talking about, though? He just gets these really, you know, quirky strategies, and I think, especially in this phase of a tournament, there's actually no room for mistakes. You know, that strategy seemed to be a bit impulsive. Maybe it wasn't, but
I think he had it planned. He just didn't execute, and we'll see if that's just a continuing trend for Inca in PvZ. But the next match, Tasteless, is the true exciting one of this group.
This is
MC against Bomber.
You know one thing about Inca before we go on? I just want to point out, I think Inca in the future is going to be better in Team League games.
I think
it's actually
he's a
like
great sniper.
Yeah,
Throw him out
it's
against
like
a
throw
Protoss,
Inca out there.
like-
He's like very solid. He's like hard to predict. He does crazy stuff. You kind of go in there, you're like, I don't know what to expect. All right, let's go into the next player introduction here for these two players. There is, ooh, that's MC. He's looking good.
Yeah.
He's got kind of a mad scientist going.
He does. I like his hair there. It's very nice. Well, did not make it far in Super Tournament, but did have some good showings at DreamHack and Home Story Cup.
He's actually, ranked third, man. Jeez.
Indeed.
And this guy has had a lot of success in the international scene as well.
Of course, yeah. Guy
He's
just flies around crushing faces and collecting checks, man.
Yep.
That's what he does.
So, you know, he's very established, basically the most established Protoss player we have in Korea, I would even say the world. I think that's a completely reasonable statement. Now, here is, he's ranked 51st, but make no mistake, Bomber has been like a spaceship being shot into orbit. He is getting so high so fast here in the GSL that he's going to have to break off that one part of the spaceship that's the bigger part that falls into the ocean. You know what I'm talking about? Now he's just like a little spaceship, and he's finally in orbit in Codas.
Dropping bombs on people from outer space.
Dropping bombs.
How does that work? I don't know.
I don't know.
Not
You like
a
actually
scientist.
drop the bomb out of the spaceship and it just floats, and you're like, oh, there's no gravity. And it just blows your ship up.
Like floats over, it's about to touch your ring. You're like, no.
No, please,
You're
please,
like,
please.
But you're in space, Tasteless. That doesn't help.
That doesn't help at all. Who was it that told me that if you're in space, something weird about. Oh, I had some weird fact that I had to say in that.
There's
now I
no
forgot
sound
it.
in space.
No, there's no sound. But there's actually all sorts of interesting things about what
man,
your
it's
body
space.
can and cannot do in space. Okay.
It cannot live in space. Not for long, at least.
No. All right, our map is Metalopolis, and this is going to be interesting, Artosis.
Yeah, it really is. Again, this could be a GSL Finals, and I bet
It
you
could
one
be.
day it might be.
Yeah, very well might be.
Might
Wait,
be.
wait, we. It very well might be. All right, PBT here. Now, Bomber has had some anxiety issues
Yeah,
in the past, but I mean, there's a point in time where eventually your reputation sort of fixes that, you know, and you're like, well, I don't know, I guess I am pretty good, you know, on stage and off stage. Let me tell you one thing, though. MC on the left does not have anxiety issues.
Oh,
this
no.
guy almost at Songho confidence level.
yeah, he is pretty
He's
high
like
up
maybe
there.
top 3 confidence level.
Top 3 with
in
Tasteless and
GSL.
Killer.
Yeah. He's below me, but
below you.
Saw Killers above me. Now, MC eliminated Xel'Naga Fortress. I'm not surprised about that. A lot of people hate playing Terran in whatever matchup it is on that map.
And Tal'Darim Altar, I believe that was, for Bomber.
Yeah, I was hoping you caught that. I didn't see that.
I think that's what it said. We'll just pretend it was, because they're playing Metalopolis. It's a good map.
Metal, we're having some lag with a Bomber joining the game, so just sit tight for a minute.
We'll get that fixed for you
It's
right
time
away.
for us to get to know Artosis better. All right, hold on.
All right.
What is your favorite Nintendo and or Super Nintendo RPG?
Oh, that is a strong question.
That's a tough
right
one.
Final Fantasy III for Super Nintendo. You're going to be one of those elitists. It's like, do you mean Final Fantasy VII? No, I mean Final Fantasy
I would
III,
actually
'cause I'm
say,
from
do you mean
America.
Final Fantasy VI? Because that's the one it is.
See, I told you he'd be one of those elitists. They're like, I know the number
It's like
of Japan.
he's so elite.
It's like, guess what, dude?
He's so elite. He wants to get the facts straight.
Guess
like,
what, Tasteless? It's actually called Final
That's
Fantasy
like
III in America, where I'm from.
the Fox News calling of elitists. It's like you're into facts. We don't like facts here at Fox.
Tasteless, where I'm from, America, it's Final Fantasy III, okay? I'm sorry I don't read your little websites where you find out what number it is in
Japanese
Japan.
just to beat the game in Japanese. No, I didn't. I don't speak any Japanese.
Anyways, that is my favorite. What is your favorite, Tasteless?
Actually, it's probably that one. Chrono Trigger's good. But actually, I like it on Super Nintendo better than the remakes on PlayStation. Because they had the Dragon Ball Z artist do it, so it's like Chrono, who's like a 16-year-old boy, is like ripped. I'm like, whoa, stop
growth is now
juicing,
stunted?
Chrono. Yeah.
Poor kid.
What was another good one? Final Fantasy 1's good if you actually like a challenge.
It was
on
a fun
Nintendo.
game.
Like, it's actually
It's a really
very
fun
hard.
game.
Mostly at the beginning, though. And then what else is there?
I like Dragon Warrior 1, believe it or not.
I did
Got
not.
that.
I played that too late.
Oh, see, I got that
Yeah.
like back when it came
That's
out.
like
Tasteless. I'm an old nerd. man.
No, I respect that. It's just, it's like if you try to get like, your younger cousin, like you've got a cousin that's like 10 years younger, you try to show him like GoldenEye, it doesn't work. It's
Really?
like that. Well, that game doesn't stand the test of time.
Really?
No, I mean,
I
it's a
haven't
great
played
game.
it
I
since-
loved it, but like, no, try to go back and play it, and you're like, it's like, and you're waiting for your gun to be like, and like auto aim because you use the Magnum on the big levels, and you sometimes use the Distovi? No, the PP7 has better auto aim, but the Distovi can be good on License to Kill on the archives.
Shoots fast.
It shoots fast.
All right.
Unless you're playing against your friend who plays Odd Job, where he's like on his knees and he's like rotating like this, and I'm like, dude, you like shoot his hat off. You're like, oh my god. But yeah, I don't know if Dragon Warrior, it's like good, but it.
Well,
do
it
they
was
still
good
release
when it
those
came
games
out,
in English?
man.
Actually,
Huh?
Do they still release those games in English? I think they release like.
I have no idea.
I haven't kept up with that.
I haven't played many non-StarCraft games.
Yeah, you keep pretty
in
busy.
the last 13 years. I have not played many non-StarCraft
I try to keep my
games.
plate pretty full with other games, but
Well, you're the ultimate gamer,
I'm the
Tasteless.
ultimate. They named a show after me a while ago.
Yeah, they did.
But all right, he's in the game now. Finally, all right, so we don't have to get to know each other anymore.
Thank God.
I'm freaked out by getting close.
I don't want to get any closer to you, Tasteless.
Can't take it.
We're already in Archon. Can I have some room, please?
No.
Some room to breathe in this bubble.
It's like, what do we do every time we have to fart? It's terrible. All right. So, head to head here, Bomber on the right against MC on the left. One of the most exciting matches we could possibly ask for. Will this established Protoss player be able to take on this young blood new Terran? Let's find out here at the GSL Code S.